Warm up, we'll do a long 10-minute block, just kind of getting our heartbeat up with no weights, mostly focused on lower body, though a little bit of everything is sprinkled in there. And then the bulk of what I wanted to do today is with upper body lift, and specifically doing a unilateral movement, meaning one arm at a time. So we would do like bicep curls on one side, and then bicep curls on the second side, and then bilateral, putting it together. We do this a lot in yoga, one side and then the other, right? But we don't do it a lot in other forms of exercise. So I notice when I lift, you're almost always working both sides at the same time. And then so that right side can continue to always help the left side, that kind of thing. So we're gonna just dial it apart today and let ourselves introspect on how those things work for us. I'm just making sure, yep, I think I'm all ready to go. Stand up. Take your feet outer hip distance apart. Drop your arms down by your side. Keep your gaze straight ahead, or close the eyes for a moment and just take in a couple of breaths. Welcome yourself to this time for Triple B. Clear out. Be as open and ready for the movement as possible. Take the arms all the way up to the sky. And then on the exhale, drop down in between the legs. Make the legs as straight as they'll go, keeping the hands on the ground. Let the head relax. Give the shoulders, head a little bit of a wiggle there. Feel a sense of heaviness hanging in the upper body. As you roll up, take the hands to the thighs, take the feet wider apart, and then just work out through the shoulders here, side to side. Okay, keep rolling all the way up. Take your hands to your shoulders, and then just torso rotation side to side here. Okay, pause it back to the center. One more time, big lift up to the sky. And this time, as you fold down in between your legs, rotate to come into downward facing dog. Hands forward, feet back. Pedal out the feet. Step the right foot in between your hands for a low lunge. Take the right hand up into the twist. Lower your right hand down, step it all the way back, downward facing dog. And then right into the second side, left foot forward. Left arm up to the sky in the twist. Set the hand down, step back, downward facing dog. Lower it down to your knees and take cat and cow here. Moving every single part of the body, letting things open, connect together. Okay, twisted child's pose. Right arm threads underneath the left. Set shoulder, ear, side of the face down. Lift the left arm up to the sky. Bring the left hand back beside your face. Come all the way back up. All fours. Do the same on the second side. Thread the left arm under the right. Shoulder, ear, side of the face down to the mat. Right arm up. And place the right hand back beside your face. Use it to come up. Go back to downward facing dog. Walk your hands backwards to your feet. Stay here at the back end of the mat, but pedal out your feet a little bit. And take a slow roll all the way back up to standing. I'm going to set up our timer here, and we'll get into the first block. All right, stand at the back end of your mat, and you want to face a long edge of the mat. Take the arms up to the sky. It's chair walks. We've done this before, but it's been a while. Bend the knees, sit into your thighs in Utkatasana, and then you are just making it slowly up to the front end of the mat. Once you end up at the front end, you go back to the back end. So again, this first 10-minute block, no weights. Working with some familiar yoga movements. Giving them just a little bit of a twist. Let the body work differently. A little more time under tension. We're with this. Each exercise will be 60 seconds each in this block. Keep going. One more walk up to the top. One more walk down to the bottom. And then stand all the way up. Release the arms down to your side. Give it a little shake. Goddess squat. Take the feet nice and wide. Turn the toes a little bit out. Sit down. Think tailbone straight down here. Hands can stay at the hips. Pull, tone in the belly. And we're lifting just releve. One heel goes up and then down, up and down. Side to side there. Continue. This does not need to be fast. Actually setting the timer at 1 minute instead of 1 hour will make this a lot better. I've got it reset. I was like, what? Where's the timer? So we want to keep our body as still as possible and just side to side here. Noticing, though, perhaps how one side tries to help the other. Finds a little more ease or not. Sit a little lower, we're coming up higher, so let's go back down. Stay with it. Can you try both heels up at the same time for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand at the top end of your mat. Good old vinyasa flow here. Inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Step it back to plank. Lower flat down to the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. Go back to down dog. And it's this bottom half of the flow. Go at your own pace. It's forward to plank, to the mat, cobra or up dog, down dog. Continuously through for just this 1 minute. Can you hover each time in the low part of the push-up rather than going flat? Keep the head of the shoulder always lifted. Know that all fours is always open to us as well. All right, that chime tells me go down to your belly. Reach the arms out in front of you. Back extensions, bend the elbows and lift. So if we were thinking about being in the gym here, it's like a lat pull down. Of course, we know this from being on our yoga mat. Superhero pose and goddess pose. Again, at your own pace here. It can go quicker or slower. Just 10 more seconds. And then change for me to set up for bridge pose. Lie down onto your back. Already halfway through this. Lift the hips up and then halfway down, all the way up and all the way down. So just getting 1 quick minute to fire up the entire body, head to toes here in this first 10-minute round. London Bridge, I call this one. That lift all the way up to the top, halfway, and then a good strong squeeze back up and back down. Push down through your big toes as much as the outer edges of the feet so that the knees stay happier with us, moving more over the second and third toes. Pull the knees into the chest. Rock yourself up to a seated position. We're ready to go. Cosmic abs. Knees go to one side. You're pedaling, arms to the left. And then switch the knees to the left, arms to the right. Again, just finding your flow. Couple of pedals and switch it each side to side. Good. To make this more challenging, you actually slow it down and take more of a longer extension with each pedal, targeting sides of the torso. There in the oblique abdominals. And we're lying back down. Catch yourself to lie down and roll towards your left side. I'm gonna say left, but you're gonna go both sides here. So whichever makes sense. But if you're on your left side, throw your right leg over, keep head down, and do a little lift on that bottom left leg. Keep it as straight as possible and make the shape of a V, back and forth, back and forth. So inner thighs targeted here. adduction. Those upper inner thigh muscles can be really hard to target. This is a nice way to do that. Point the toes. Keep drawing the shape of a V. Surprisingly tiring at times here. And we're going to switch to the second side. Take your time to come to the opposite side, whether it's rolling over or changing the ends of your mat. Ready to go. So I had done the left side first, so now it's my right leg working into those V shapes again. Do try to keep your kneecap lifted, tone in the quads, so a nice full straight leg the whole time, so that the upper leg has to do the work. Prop your head or just leave it down on the ground. So you know we are standing up for everybody's favorite lunges in the next minute. 10 more seconds here. And then come on up to standing. Stand at the top of your mat, hands on the waist, feet hip distance apart. Step one foot back into the lunge, and then right back to the top of the mat. Like the other forms in this long block, find your pace. Concentrate on form rather than going faster. So I like hands at the hips the whole time so I can really feel the anterior hip point, that front hip point sticking out. Making sure that we're pointed straight ahead the whole time. Long enough stance that you get about a 90-degree angle between hip, knee, and ankle on both feet, both legs, I should say, each time, and stepping back in a way that keeps you at hip distance apart. Good news, that's a minute. Come back to face the long edge of the mat, take a wide stance, and this is a slow Tai Chi flow, side to side. Take about 4 counts or a whole inhale breath to one side and the next, thinking of this more like an opportunity to connect and lengthen the breath. Slow it down a little bit. This is minute 10 of our 10-minute block. Good. All right. Heel toe your feet back together. So moving into our upper body lift, here's where you'll need your weights handy. We're going to start down on the ground for chest press. So adjust, bring yourself all the way down. I'm going with my 10-pound dumbbell for the chest press. Something around in there. And again, this is unilateral, one arm at a time, and then we'll put it together. full minute here in between to reset. But once you're ready, you lie down on your back, safely have the dumbbell in hand, and we'll set it up. Other hand can be down on the mat, giving a little bit of a push of the palm down to help anchor you. You're going to notice you'll need to do a little more balance work and stabilization in the belly. So here we are. Extend the dumbbell straight up, and we want it about the height of your chest, not the height of your shoulders or eyes. As you bend and come down, the elbow should hover right above the earth. So just one side at a time. Not fast here. Going slow, even though we're not here for a very long time. So here I'm going to be doing 50-second blocks and giving us more like 20 seconds to transition in between, versus I was doing 60 with a 10-second transition before. So you get a little more time. Switch it over to the second side. Take your time to set up, palm down. Elbow hovers in the lower range, and then go for it. Extend straight up and down. And again, we don't want the dumbbell to go over the eyesight. Make sure you're lower here. If somebody took a picture of you from the side or up top, you want the dumbbell more in line with the chest. And that's going to be better. On your shoulders, we don't want to get it all shrugged up, and certainly never want the dumbbell right over the eyes when we're lying on our back. Nice work, ladies. Keep stabilizing. Navel towards the spine. Keep the whole length of the spine pretty glued to the mat. Okay. Safely roll to your side so you can pick up the second dumbbell. And for two at the same time, the bilateral movement, we're doing chest press rotations. It looks the same at the bottom, but as you come up to the top, rotate the dumbbells, palms turn in towards each other. Same thing, elbows hover just above the earth as you come to the lower point. Find your range of motion. Slow it down so that you can do the full extension and range. No rush here. Dumbbells rotate, palms turn a quarter of the way in at the top each time. One more. And lower it down, roll to the side. Moving from chest press into rows, stand all the way up. I'm gonna hold on to that same 10-pound dumbbell. Bend your knees, one hand at the waist. Drop the dumbbell straight down. Here, as you bend the elbow and pull back, you want the weight to go right to the hip line. Sometimes I see folks bring this up towards the shoulder line. We're going back towards the hip line. And take like a little beat at the top each time. Get into that full range of motion for you. Elbow should point straight back, less so up to the sky. So again, we're not taking it out and up. We're taking it back and towards the hip line. Stand up, change sides. When we add into the bilateral movement, it's always something, same muscle group, but just a little bit different. So we can get in a full target of the upper body today. Again, you're thinking hip line. You can always change to a lighter dumbbell or no weight at all. Another great way, if you feel you need just a little help, is a staggered step, one foot right in front of the other. We've got 10 more seconds here. Okay, stand up, drop the dumbbell for just a second. I'm gonna go to my lighter set for this one, just so I can make sure that my form stays on point. Here's where we're going. I like to call this our goddess row. Palms face in towards the body, and you bring the goalpost or goddess shape up. Elbows stop at the line of the shoulders. And here, if we're taking that picture, everything is at a 90-degree bend from shoulder to elbow, straight down to the wrist. Each time, that's it. Keep the chest somewhat lifted. Look a couple of feet out in front of you. If you find any strain in your low back, stand up. Take a release for a couple of breaths and reset the form. That's it. You are done. Set the weights down. Shake it out. Watch me. Pick up your lightest dumbbell, shoulder extensions. I find this one so interesting what happens when it's only one side at a time. You ready? Definitely recommend a staggered step. As you extend, we've got this long lever. The longer the lever that you're working with, the lighter the heavy thing that you're picking up should be. Long lever here. Good. Little tiny bend at the elbow, flying not higher than the shoulder. Good old-fashioned upper body lift work. 10 more seconds on this side. How does the body help? Core balance. Okay, let's switch to the second hand. Give it a moment. If you're doing your stagger steps, take the other foot in front just to give yourself some balance. Little bend in both knees. I've got the back heel up. All right, let's get it going. From lift 1, I notice a difference, one side to the next. It's all about checking in, taking into account how one side is working versus the other, not really pitting them against one another, but being kind in the flow. How to align ourselves throughout the day. 10 more seconds here. Looking good. You can see that lift of the dumbbell in your peripheral vision each time. Okay, let's set it down. We're moving, flying on through here. I'm going to go back to a 10-pound dumbbell. See what works here, your heavy or your lighter set. This is hammer curl, so instead of the bicep curl turning out, we're turning it in, and it's straight up and straight down. Usually can pick up something a little bit heavier in a hammer curl because we are recruiting both the front and back of the upper arm muscles here. Bicep curls, you're counting really just on the bicep. Sometimes I need to lower the weight. Hammer curl, usually a little heavier. Great. That full extension the whole time, elbows staying close into our side. That's 50 seconds. Set it down, shake it out. Hammer curl on the second side, and then we will go to full bicep curls. I'm gonna pick up the 5s when I do that just to save the body a little bit. Okay, here we are. I think by the time I get to Sunday yoga hour class this week, I'm gonna have a hard time not making it restorative. So I'm just picking up heavy things all day this week with the move. But being intentional about it here helps me be intentional about it throughout the day as well. We've got just 2 more curls, up and down, up and down. All right, so I'm going towards the 5-pound here for the full bicep curls. At this point, we start to get a little tired. It can be easy to want to swing a little back and forth. Make sure you are not doing that. Do not swing. Just all the way up, all the way down. Keep the elbows plugged into the side. How do you know the top of your range? If the elbows start to swing forward to get the dumbbells all the way up to the shoulders, that's too far. We want to keep the elbows pointed straight down, close into the side, not swinging forward. Keep a good form, even if you need to shorten some aspect of the range. Okay, 1 more for the road. That's it. Set it down. Okay, we're going all the way back down to our back. Tricep spotlight. I'm going to use the 5-pound dumbbell. Safely make it down to your back. Like the top of your chest press that we started with. But if you're holding in your right hand with the right arm extended, take the left hand to stabilize the elbow, upper arm bone right where it is. And then we're dipping the dumbbell towards the left shoulder and then straight up. Towards the left shoulder and straight up. So I'm holding the dumbbell in the right hand, bend at the elbow, over towards the left shoulder line. And after several repetitions, if you don't find it difficult, or if the elbow keeps moving around a whole lot, it might signal that you need to pick up something a little bit heavier if possible. Keep the abdomen engaged. That always pulls back navel towards the spine. Let's give it 1 more here. We had a longer setup. And then switch. Hold the dumbbell in the second hand. Stabilize. And then you're dipping towards the right shoulder and straight back up. Nice way to spotlet. Just one arm, one tricep at a time. Tricep muscle group. I should correct myself. Just two more here. Oh, and then everyone's favorite to finish us out. Safely roll to the side. Set up in all fours. Tricep push-ups. Yogis, we're made for this, right? Find your range, whether it's knees or toes. Tricep push-ups are a really lovely exercise to change up the range while you keep your form. So as the minute goes on, because a minute is long seeming in tricep push-ups, maybe it's little bend, straighten, little bend, straighten, rather than finding yourself all the way down, all the way up. This is our very end pose, our very end work. Keep it up. You've got this. Two more. And you're off to child's pose. Push yourself back. Long breath out. Stay right here. Let the arms relax, forehead relax. All the hardest work done. And then lie all the way down onto your belly. Extend the right arm straight out beside you. If you're working in a smaller space, just scoot to one side of the mat. And you roll over the right side. Step the left foot back behind you. Stretch out the chest and shoulder there. Come across your center, stretch the left arm out to the side, right hand goes right underneath the shoulder like it would in Cobra, and then roll over the left side. Head can go down to the mat, legs stack or step behind you. And again, back into your center. Downward facing dog. Push yourself up and back. Stretch it all out. Walk the hands back to your feet. Uttanasana, standing forward fold here. And then take the hands to the waist, point the elbows up to the sky, push down into your feet, come all the way upright. Take one arm up to the sky, give yourself a pat on the back. And then bring that same arm across the chest. Think more down as you bring it across. Good. And then second side, arm up to the sky. Give yourself the pat on the back. Keep the elbow straight up. Let's work across the body, A little bit of a downward angle here. Interlace the hands behind your back. Squeeze the elbows in, open up the chest as you straighten the arms. Whew. Release, opposite here. Reach the arms out in front. Cross at the wrist. Or like a cat rounded back. Stretch out the upper back. And take hands, palms together to your center. Or you can drape the arms down by your side. As needed, keep the eyes opened. As works, close the eyes. Just take a few internal breaths here. Giving yourself thanks for taking the time to move your body, to strengthen your body, which moves our minds and strengthens our minds. And creating strength for ourselves. We are kind, beautiful, and capable of big things. All right, big thanks for doing Triple B today. I'll see you guys soon, maybe even tomorrow. Stretch it out.